you're right, Councillor Murdoch, our older stock is a key component to try and get some energy retrofits on. The problem you run into is affordability, and one of the things that I think Toronto and Nelson, a few other jurisdictions have done is they've used the local improvement policies within legislation. And in Ontario, they've had just a couple of word changes so that you could use that for families to retrofit their homes. It becomes a charge that they pay, it's on their property, and they pay it like a utility to the municipality, just like we would if we had a local improvement for a sidewalk in a neighborhood. So that was one of the things, and we also talked to the government, definitely leadership. I'm so pleased that some of our local builders are part of this. The Joels have been seen as leaders in so many of these things. And another thing we talked about with the leadership team was about labeling. Because of course all these retrofits cost money up front. And what that means in the long run is that the building will use less energy, and that would make it more affordable. So we talked about working with the real estate, and we've had these discussions before with the real estate community about labeling energy efficient buildings, so that if you were going to buy a new home, you could see what kind of energy the building uses. So there were a number of recommendations that came through the CRD to the leadership team, and I'm definitely supportive of this one. Thank you for coming.
Any more speakers? Councillor Murdoch.
Thank you very much. We have a couple of developers here tonight. We should have encouraged them to come forward and give their opinion on this item. It's all good what we have before us, and I do support it. Something I question sometimes, and it seems always more difficult to talk about the cost of it all. And I do support a healthier, cleaner environment, and I believe all of us do. But it comes with a price tag, and the payback might not be in my lifetime, so to speak. And to convince and encourage our public to go in this direction, it takes a lot of encouragement. Coming back, it was mentioned that we should do more building, higher densities in major centers. And it's interesting as our developers go to major centers and look at a 6-story building, and the community says, we only want a 3. Let's be honest, who do we listen to? Developers or the community when they come here? And I think we have to focus on what we want to do and what we want to see happen, and then encourage our communities to buy in, or else we'll be doing the same type of building for the next 20 years. But I think there's great opportunities to move ahead, and I look forward to being part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Haynes and then Councillor Sanders.
I'd like to thank my colleague, Councillor Murdoch, for bringing this forward, and certainly I'll be in support of it. But my concern, in part, through the Mayor, is that it only addresses part of the equation. The part of the equation it does address has some problems as well. I'll talk about some of those. In moving to zero net gain by 2030, is that a realistic objective? Or are we putting an objective there that we will not achieve? Some of the people I spoke to in the real estate industry, Victoria Construction Association, Victoria Residential Builders Association, certainly we can push the energy efficiency of new buildings to a very high level. But to get to zero, as has already been remarked, there's a cost-benefit ratio. So that goal itself, not to rewrite any of this, instead of net zero, maybe it should be 95%. So I'm just raising that in supporting this, which I do, it may be unrealistic in itself. Secondly, I think if we support this, there's a responsibility also on us to challenge the province who, through their mill rate, penalise the greener buildings by increased taxes. This is something we brought to council previously. It's been before our advisory committees, and I think if we support this, we need then also to support the industry's request to say, when we make greener buildings, why are you putting higher taxes on us? Because we're trying to solve climate change through our building practices. So I'm not sure quite how to word the resolution here to embrace that point, but I'd like in a moment to suggest some ideas. To the second point, our primary impact on climate change, greenhouse gas emissions, is our older housing stock. In accepting this statement here, that one of the fears I have, and has been shared to me by a few of the associations, is that then we think we've done good, we have done good, but we can take our eye off the ball for our older housing stock. We've already heard from councillors the retrofits are expensive, it's tricky to do, but I appreciated Councillor Brownloff's comments that in Toronto and Nelson, they found some formulas that help those communities go forward. I like to think that this council maybe can come up with some of those solutions too. So in embracing this recommendation, are we able to find some additional wordings that, in doing so, we're not taking our eye off the rest of the pie that also needs to be addressed? And I had a note here, for example, from our own UDI Institute. This is from Kathy Hogan, and she agrees with what's been said here, but then she also says, the UDI Pacific region, which is our office in Vancouver, has commented on the report, but this is the first time I have seen it. Climate change and the implications it has on the development industry are significant. I feel that it is only fair that the UDI Capital Regional Board and membership have the opportunity to weigh in on this report. I would be happy to work with you to ensure that the Capital Regional Development Industry stakeholders all get a chance to comment on this report. So, in endorsing the report today, which I am going to support, how do we then also acknowledge some of the other work that needs to be done? And I invite my colleagues to have some suggestions on wordings. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Haynes. I don't see this as a silver bullet solution or an all-in-one document. It's something that's going to be sent to the province to weigh in. It'd be nice to see UDI here present to us as a delegation, or to come to our committees and provide some advice. Personally, I'm looking at this as something that's is going to start a conversation at the provincial level, but at the same time, local governments touch the lives of residents often quite more than the higher levels of government, and the incentives that we can provide, and the streamlined processes that we can provide, and of course the changes that we can make to encourage people to deal with older homes and newer homes and so forth. I think it just adds to the whole fabric of solutions that can be put forward. Councillor Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm very supportive of this going forward, and there certainly are lots of issues. I'll speak specifically to the older housing stock. And it's brought up online here, for example, in Vancouver, the Vancouver Heritage Foundation is doing a pilot project on retrofitting older homes. That's homes built before the 1940s, and they're providing funding up to $3,000 per house for retrofits to help with that insulation, windows, and the like. And with Saanich, I just missed this myself, but we worked with City Green, and there were all sorts of grants, and I had friends that took advantage of that in their older homes. They had, as I say, they had windows replaced, they had their heating replaced, and all sorts of things that make those homes more energy efficient. And there certainly could be a debate about, you know, if a house is assessed for a higher value because they've done this, and then so it's a penalty. But the reverse is also, when people are looking for a home, they're going to be looking for energy efficiency, so there'll be a greater price when it comes to sell. But certainly in the general public, as they say, the already built house is already the greenest building and most efficient that way. And so I certainly support this going forward, and we can look at things that will meet our energy and climate goals. And so thank you, Councillor Murdoch, for bringing this forward.
Are there any other speakers for the first time? I'm interested in calling the question on the motion, as it's quite simple, but I did see a hand up from Councillor Haynes and Councillor Drummond if they'd like to briefly add.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to mention in terms of Councillor Haynes' comments, yes, there is a vast amount to be done and can be done, but I think that's independent of this motion. That requires subsequent efforts on council or individual councillors to bring things forward. There are many, many ways that one can encourage the public a few jurisdictions in North America and elsewhere, for example, improvements are financed by the utility provider of energy, and then the individual pays back by paying the same energy bill they would have paid if the improvements weren't there. And thus there's no upfront cost to the individual, and it is a seamless process for them. That's just one of the many, many kinds of things that this council could consider and encourage at least others to do. Thank you.
We're imposing upon our council procedures bylaw, but go ahead, Councillor Haynes, for the final
Thank
word.
you. So I thought we might get to this position and there would be no change to the recommendation because it is a complex issue, but I wanted to set the stage for the work we can do as we go forward in this term to bring forward some thoughtful, nimble ideas to help address some of these other issues. And I look forward to helping my colleagues and others bring those forward. Thank you.
With that, I'd like to call a question on the recommendation. All in favor? Opposed? None opposed. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, so with that, I'd like to call for a motion to adjourn from council and move to committee of the whole.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? None opposed. That motion carries unanimously. All right, I'll now call tonight's committee of the whole meeting to order. The procedure for tonight's meeting is as follows. I'll ask the clerk to introduce the item, after which council will be given an opportunity to ask questions of staff. I'll then ask the applicant to present their application, following which I will invite the applicant if you'd like to address the council. Please come up to the microphone and give your name and address and your comments. There's a light that will show amber when you're nearing the end of your speaking time, and we ask you to wrap up your comments. When the red flashing light signals, you've reached the end of your speaking time, which is 5 minutes. After everyone has had an opportunity to speak, I will ask the applicant to return the microphone if there are any questions to be answered, and then the matter will be turned over to council for decision. Following committee, the whole council then reconvene to ratify any recommendations. So with that, I'll ask the clerk to introduce the first item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This first item is 728 Miller Avenue. It's a subdivision and rezoning application. The report of the Director of Planning is recommending that council approve the rezoning to RS6 and RS10 for proposed subdivision to create one additional lot. Final reading of this bylaw would be withheld pending registration. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Are there any questions from council for staff? Seeing none, then I'll ask the applicant to come forward, please. Welcome, Mr. Pringle.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Sandwich Council members, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cam Pringle. I'm the owner of Cadillac Homes and Cadillac Developments. My construction company has been in business for almost 30 years, and we've done numerous projects in the municipality of Sandwich, including infill housing developments, larger developments, townhouse projects. And I think our last project we did in the municipality was about a decade ago behind the Commonwealth Pool. And I'm sure you've all driven through there, a project called Castleton Place, or the road's called Castleton Place, and we called it Royal Oak Lane, which was 26 single-family lots and 9 townhouses on the Royal Oak Golf Course. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about our background and our business. We're members of New Home Warranty. We offer 2-year, 5-year, 10-year warranty on all our products, and I can tell you that we've never had a warranty complaint in 30 years go past our own desks. So we look after our customers as they purchase our homes. This evening, I'd just like to talk about the rezoning and subdivision of 728 Miller Avenue. I've got a picture here of what we're proposing to build on the front lot, on an RS6 lot that we are going to create. And we are prepared to covenant this plan, as Senate has asked us to do, that this is what we're presenting here this evening is what you're going to get at the end of the day. Austin was here, I think I used a board. Okay, here we go. So what we got here in front of you, and you have a package also on your tables. This is the RS6 lot that is going to go on the front on Miller Avenue. We are asking for no variances whatsoever. This home will be constructed again by our company. In the front of the house, we're working with the engineering department and Saanich to do all of the improvements for the road. And we're also bringing down, we're proposing to bring natural gas to the site from Wilkinson Road to service this lot and the lot in behind, and anyone else on the street that wishes to join into that system. This picture here shows us the RS10 lot in the back of the existing house. Again, there's no variances asking for this property. The house conforms to the RS10 zone. Originally we asked for RS6 zone, but we were told by the planning department the RS10 zone would be best suited for this property. So we've put it into RS10, and there would be no variances asked for the existing house. This home, just so you know, we are renovating this home. We put new windows into this house. We were planning to put in, again, natural gas appliances if the project is approved. This next picture you see shows the subject property. And as you can see to the west, it's nothing that's unfamiliar to this area, that there's 3 panhandle lots, property immediately to the west of this site, and everything else in this neighborhood is zoned RS6 or RS8, except for the properties to the immediate east is zone A1 still, and there's 2 other properties that are multifamily at the end of the road. The next picture I'm about to show you is the layout of the house itself. And as you can see that we've designed this home so that the main areas face the rear yard. So the living room, dining room, kitchen face the rear yard. There's a den in the front, a double car garage in the front. And then we have a washroom and a laundry in the middle, with obviously stairs going up to the upstairs. The upper floor of the house is a 3-bedroom. And it has 2 bathrooms, and it has a 1-bedroom suite over the garage and the den, with exterior access to the suite from the east side of the property, which we are providing additional parking. So our total parking spots we're providing is actually 5 on the site. When we first purchased the property, we looked at the official community plan, and we looked at the Royal Oak area local plan, and I think both those plans, this application is supportable. We followed it pretty much to the T. We also had a neighborhood meeting with the immediate neighbors, which we hand-delivered letters and had them out to the site. And we also had a Royal Oak Community Association presentation. And I believe there's been no response other than the Royal Oak Communities associations that they have no objection. But I do not believe there's been any response from the neighbors that I've heard of anyways. It was a very positive meeting that we had. Again, we're gonna keep the existing home, we're gonna upgrade it. The new home is gonna be built to Energy 80 or better. It's gonna be energy efficient. We're expecting probably a young family to move in. We're expecting this suite would be rented to someone who's going to nearby Camosa College, which is much needed in that area. I just want to show you, if I can figure it out. This is a house we just finished building in Brentwood Bay. This is pretty much the identical home that we're proposing to build on Miller. And as you can see that this is built for sale. I don't know what the word spec house is, but that's something that our company does not do. We build houses that are not sold yet, and as you can see by the detail, we take great pride in what we're doing. This again is the same house that we plan on building on Miller, and we're going to covenant that. So I guess in closing, I just ask if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them.
Councillor German, and then Brownov.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you to Mr. Pringle. Mr. Pringle, you probably, like I did, probably just sat through the item that immediately preceded this one and considerable discussion. I noted in the staff report on page 10 that they indicate a commitment to Energuide 80, and it indicates that staff discussed the possibility of a higher Energuide rating, which would be my preference, Energuide 82, for example, at least. Is there a reason why you don't feel ready to commit to that?
Not at all. This house that I just built in Brentwood Bay, Energuide 85.
Right.
So
that's very high.
I can't say what after that, because we do the air tests and everything.
Right.
To make sure that the quality of the product is properly done. So if I say Energuide 80, it's going to be well above that.
So if this were to go to public hearing, would you be willing to make a commitment to say Energuide 82 or higher?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Councillor Brownov, and then Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Welcome. I haven't seen you for a long time at that microphone. Cam, I wanted to ask you about the retaining wall that's on the design. What's the retaining wall going to look like? It's a retaining wall along the property for the driveway.
It's existing. It's already there.
Oh, it's already there, okay. And what about the surface type for the driveways? What kind of material are you using? Because you've got a natural area and stuff, I'm worried about stormwater runoff. Is it going to be impervious? What kind of?
For the new house, we would use concrete. The existing house is going to stay the same as it is. We are putting in, on both lots, new storm systems that will take the runoff and recharge the ground. So we're committed to doing that on both properties.
Did you look at pavers?
We would look at pavers, yeah. I have no problem with pavers, but on the existing street, it would just sort of not
Okay.
kind of.
I guess I'm more worried about, it's a lot of concrete out front as well, right? Like the other panhandles, some of them, even if you go up the street a little ways, they share a driveway and stuff, so.
Right. No, I get that, and I should point out that the reason we kept the existing driveway where it is on the west side of that driveway is probably 6 or 8 mature trees that we're going to leave, and we could have had the lot in front, let's say, wider, but that would have affected the access. So that's how we came to those conclusions, and that's why it looks like there's more concrete, especially in that picture.
Thank you.
Councillor Sanders, a question for you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was just wondering, in your plans anywhere, does it show that access to the upper suite? You said it's accessible on the east side, not outside. Do you have anything that shows that?
Sorry?
The access to the suite over the garage, I think you said that it has.
Oh yes, it's in the
access.
plan. It's behind the garage.
It's behind, but can you actually see it in any of these plans? I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
square. Oh, just go on like that.
A ground plan.
Yeah, no picture of it. I can see what I saw for the floor plans where it is. I just was wondering in the exterior of the building.
Oh, I see.
That is on the exterior of the building, no.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. The two concepts, I realize the conceptual streetscape is just that. It is a little bit different than the plan that you're showing in here.
That plan is the exact same house as that.
But they're not, they are, the little venti thing at the top is at a different location. The garage doors are different. Is that just?
Right. That's what we were asked for by the planning department, to make the garage doors as that plan shows.
Okay, so that is the line drawing is not the accurate one, it's the one that's the street
Correct.
concept.
The streetscape concept is the
With
accurate.
the windows right in the doors. Okay, and you made the comment about, it was just a quick word, you covenant that. What your meaning with covenant?
Well, what we plan on doing is covenanting that plan on that lot, that is the house that's going to be built on that lot.
Okay. That's
To Energuide 82,
right. Okay.
which is
that's-
what we've been asked for by the planning.
Okay, and I just want to echo too, I think if you could look at pavers, that it's great for stormwater management, rather than a lot of asphalt. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Any more questions for the applicant? All right, thank you very much. That's what I'd like to invite members of the public to come up and speak. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak? Calling for a second time, any members of the public that wish to speak?
Good evening, Marcia Henderson, Goyette Road, and I'm speaking tonight representing Royal Oak Community Association. I just want to confirm, on the part of the association, that Cam Pringle, the developer, distributed flyers in the neighborhood as he was requested, and he held a neighborhood meeting on September 30, at which a number of community association members attended, as well as about a dozen neighbors, I think. At that meeting, Mr. Pringle distributed information on the subdivision as well as the design of the proposed house, and he addressed all questions that were asked that I heard anyway. He also presented his proposal to the Community Association at our November general meeting, and he confirmed the membership and he canvassed the neighborhood in answer to a question. While there was no specific support expressed at that meeting, there were also no objections. Based on this, the Royal Oak Community Association has no objections to this proposal at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson. Are there any of the members of the public who wish to speak?
Catherine Whitworth, 4548 Dumont Avenue. I just want to follow up with what Ms. Henderson said. My recollection is that there was no motion put forward on there. There was no discussion. So in my opinion, as a member of the association, I would say that Roca hasn't taken a position. So might be contrary to the president there. But as a member of the general public, I see the planner's report does indicate policy 9.5 of the Royal Oak Local Area Plan supports RS8 zoning in the Viewmont neighborhood. Based on what is currently designated for Miller Avenue, the application is appropriate at RS6 zoning, given the majority of homes have this designation. The subdivision officers confirmed today via email this morning that the natural state covenant will be registered at the time the subdivision, therefore not in the recommendation to council's consideration. I do support the single lot rezoning and subdivision, and the applicant has a strong history of providing a quality product. Thank you.
Are there any of the members of the public that wish to speak? Calling for a third time? All right, seeing none, we'll then move it over to council for decision. Councilor Durham.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will move public hearing.
Second.
And very briefly, this is a limited infill, I think in a good location by a builder who has a very good reputation in our region and in our municipality, and certainly has a history of living up to his word and what he puts forward. And for the record, I note his willingness to covenant that he will reach Enter Guide 82 or better, and I thank him for that. Thank you.
Councillor Bryce?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I definitely support the motion. I think it's always telling when a presentation for rezoning is made and there are no objections from the neighborhood. It says that things are going well. And this particular location had an opportunity to walk by there over the weekend and talk to the resident of the home in the back part of this property, to have a chance to see just what exactly was being proposed. Not only, I think, is this ready for public hearing, my feeling is that it